um, we have had the same kind of challenges where um, people are not aware about some of these issues, as you mentioned, and to just bring this home requires, for example, having resource people. For example, in my region, the biggest resource has been something similar to what you're having right now in Latin America, the South School on Internet Governance. So in Africa, we have the African School on Internet Governance, which has been a good capacity building mechanism to work with future activists and future people involved in this in the space, and just trying to find a way of how to link this together, like all our initiatives to share our challenges and our experiences together, so that we can learn from each other and see if this worked in this part of the world, how can we replicate this best practice and bring it somewhere else. And some of the challenges, if for example you try to do something and it didn't work, so try to assess and see why didn't it work, why didn't this research how can we make it better in our different regions. So it's a pleasure to be here, and yeah, those are my few remarks about this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Efrain. Now, since we have half of the session left, we want to open for questions and interventions from the audience. If anyone, if you could join us on the table and to speak. I see a lot of faces here from Brazil, and I'm sure we can, share more experience, share more initiatives that we know they are happening in different regions. We have here in Brazil, in IGF, all the different regions of Brazil represented. And that's really amazing, because from what I know, last year we didn't have, even though was in Brazil, we had I'm not sure, but now we have a large number from people from North, and that's very nice, because we don't have many initiatives in related to internet governance in that region. As Kimberly said, we only have more strong participation of Rio and São Paulo. Me, I'm from the northwest of Brazil. I'm from Fortaleza, and also in my city, we don't have a lot of people who know what is internet governance, even though in our kind of bar association, we have a commission that deals with internet law, internet related issues, but it's not expressive. So now I'm gonna open the mic for anyone who wants to speak, who wants to make an intervention.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning. I'm Claudio Lucena. I'm from Paraíba State University. So I'm very close to I'm based in Campina Grande, so I'm very close to where the place where IGF was held last year. I'm currently on a leave from my university, so I've been for almost 4 years now in Europe. So it was really a shame for me not being able to attend IGF close to my hometown last year. But I'm very glad to see the developments that IGF has caused. So, and I think we're talking basically here about interaction and integration. And it says a lot to me, for example, the fact that Gustavo brings to the table the fact that we don't have internet law courses around in the institutions, and the lack of communication we've been in through all these years. In our university, we have the course for 18 years now. We started in 1998, so it's about 18 years of course. We're also starting our research group, which is called Judith. It's not Judith, the name. It stands for Jurisdiction, Law, and Technology in Portuguese. But we clearly lack this integration. And it took a global, worldwide event for us to get in contact. Professor Renata from the Federal University of Ceará, who is also a person who is very engaged globally, but mainly in regional initiatives concerning this area, is someone who I've just met here in Mexico. So after a long time, we have been interacting. So I guess it's not that the national discussion in Brazil is taken to neglect the region. I think we're very well represented, but as someone said here on the table, concerning national issues, I think there's more to that. We have regional needs, and one experience that I would like to share and leave, not to monopolize the mic, is the fact that we have a very interesting structure concerning Brazilian universities, which is the existence of autonomous and independent units outside the base of the we were talking about that yesterday, outside the base of the university. This is not common in Europe. The university usually belongs to the city. I guess it's probably the case in the United States also. I don't know here in Mexico if the University of Guadalajara stands in other cities, UNAMA also. But in Brazil, for example, taking my university, Paraíba State University has 9 independent administrative units, including one in a correction center. So it spreads all over the state. So it creates a natural network of aware of the same necessities, of the same realities. So maybe we could build up on this experience that we have concerning Brazilian, mostly public institutions, who are based in more than one place, who spread their reach across other places in the same region, and use this tool a little bit more to maybe enhance even more the good experiences we have heard from IGF. Thanks.
Anyone else? Yes.
So, hi everyone, I'm Raquel Gatto. I'm also Brazilian. I work with Internet Society, and I'm from the São Paulo, one of the hubs on those discussions. But I'm going to jump in anyway, because I think there is, I'm going to bring 2 experiences we have in other fora that might be useful as I'm hearing, and bringing some of what Claudio said on the first point, which is, within the creation, for example, of national IGFs, one of the challenges is how do we bring people together from different stakeholder groups, and how we make it happen, this dialogue. And one of the things we see that makes it successful is to identify the top issues that you were talking about. So as Claudia was saying, look for the synergies. Which are the 2 or 3 main topics on internet governance, internet issues that makes a difference in your region? And you can fit that into the national IGF or national plans or whatever. But you came in with a clear standing position and action items. Those are the issues we face. That's what we need to tackle with. And those are the networks or the resources we have. So this really make a difference. The other one is, so we've been working now on Internet Society on creating this distributed event. What do I mean by that? It's bringing people together using the internet, the very own tool we are talking about, and it's called intercommunity. So don't keep yourselves only on the geographic barriers. They are important. Face-to-face meetings are important. It makes, you know, like Claudio, Gustavo, I think I only see you guys here in those meetings in other countries, but make use of the internet. Try to create more of this, not only remote participation, I'm talking about really online participation. So just to get it flowing.
Just to complement something that Raquel was saying, as I said in my presentation, I'm working with Coalizão Direitos na Rede, and it's a coalition that gathers civil society activists from all over the country, and that each institution has its particularities and its regional interests, but at the coalition, we actually work remotely, and everybody from its own computers from different regions, and we see this clearly. I mean, we first hash together what exactly is our preferences as a group, what we think it really is what defines us as a group, a bit apart from our particularities, and then we work together collectively. They from the computers, and Bia and I mostly doing the job there in Brasilia in the National Congress. So it's just an example of what exactly Raquel was saying. It's awesome.
This has been, what time is it? We have 7 more minutes. So replying to Claudio, interaction, integration, you said, that's right. And I do believe you are quite right. The problem we face back at Natal is that, at least for what I see, is we have many layers of well-developed projects. We have the CGI, for example. We have all these incredibly well-developed projects, and we are, let's say, down near the bottom. We are trying to directly communicate with the population, with the student population, and I think all this discussion has been very enlightening, actually, because we are still trying to perfect our approach. So thank you all. At least for me, it was very, very enlightening.
Hi, good morning. I'm Pai from Malaysia, Tindak, Malaysia. I was in Brazil a couple of occasions, and in fact, I flew back from Brazil to attend this forum. My main area was traveling in Bahia. And what I found was that internet is very, very difficult and very, very expensive. So would it be reasonable to consider making sure that internet access is universally available throughout Brazil before we talk about higher level things? Thank you.
Mr. Pai, is that right? Just a moment. Oh, okay. Well, the fact is, internet access in Brazil is not universal yet. Certainly not. But, well, we are facing many issues. For example, I can't directly act with universalizing the internet. There are many sectors, many stakeholders. Well, we are doing what we can with the resources we can. And I think these are not mutually exclusive battles, but you are quite right. The internet access is not universal in Brazil. In many places, it's still very expensive. In my town, actually, I don't live in Natal. I live in a very small town nearby, and internet access there is difficult, and that actually is a problem with participating in internet governance issues. But, well, there are many battles, and we are doing what we can with our resources.
It was nice to see everyone here discussing, and I believe we came up with lightnings that we should keep discussing, and that's why we are here. And I believe we can continue. Okay, I was gonna say we can go home, but we still have a few days, so we can continue to think on how we can engage different stakeholder groups in different regions and in different countries, because internet governance, it's a global thing. It should be a global thing. And I believe that's it. Thank you all for coming, and thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a really big honor being here, and it was a pleasure having you.